Hey, welcome to the DPP channel. On the last game of the round robin, we actually faced off against the classic Blue Bond of Friendship and Ancient Garuru. This was a dominating deck back in the BT6 meta. Now, how does it fare against current decks such as the Beelzemon? Today we'll explore just that. However, I just want to give a slight warning in the games ahead. I have made some questionable plays that I myself can't help but wonder, what was I thinking at that point of time? So without further ado, let's dive right into the game itself as we do see the Miss Marine boost and the Dual Tamer coming down with the Pokemon setup on the right player side. Now the Pokemon did pick up the Gabumon, the promo version, which allows him to actually evolve to the Ancient Garuru, and with the Analog Boy he does pick up the Ancient Garuru, so he's basically set up to actually go towards that play, and he does pick it up to hand, and he's actually swinging the Gabumon. Now I would say that the blue decks in general do have a very strong, I would say aggressive pressure, thanks to the Ancient Garuru, Lobomons, the hybrid package, and of course the Ancient Garuru. Now I'm gonna push out and evolve to the Dobomon here with the Immon. I'll be swinging the Dobomon at the security and hoping I don't hit into any nasty security here. I don't hit into a Lobomon fortunately, so I can use the Dobomon skill to achieve me the top 3 and pick up something back. I'm gonna pick up the Dobomon itself and using Demi-Meramon skill to draw one and discard one. I'll be discarding the Beelzemon in hand. Sadly, the Beelzemon in hand really don't do too much. I'm gonna use the Miss Memory boost to give me to 3 memory here, allowing me to actually hardcore Immon, and definitely will be searching out for some stuff in the form of the BTO2 secret Beelzemon. And I'll actually be following up by just Warp Evolution on the Immon and actually be bombing the Pokemon. Now, this is the questionable play that I mentioned just now. Why did I actually bomb the Pokemon? Because he doesn't have any hybrids on the field, so he can actually abuse that gain 2 memory, and he already picked up the Lobomon and the Ancient Garuru in my face just now, so I allow you to actually evolve the Ancient Garurumon, and Beelzemon not bombing that blue Digimon did really hurt me a lot as he started pushing my security with that 2 swings there. He's going to use the Gabumon to pick up the Yamato to hand. I would say this misplay really did cost me a lot, making me lose 2 security just like that, especially when I'm against time, I would say. And he does die to the Blast Mode in the security, allowing him to use the Analog Boy, the Ancient Garuru effect to spawn the level 4 hybrid. And he's going to go for the Hammer Spark to push into 3 memory, and then going for a Matt Ishida Tamer play. And actually a Gabumon Hardcore. Now the Gabumon Hardcore might seem very normal or rather non-threatening, but the fact that he does have the Yamato set up, or the Matt Ishida, sorry, so the Gabumon can just instantly Warp Evo to a Gabumon Bond of Friendship, which allows him to swing twice, and it's going to be very strong, especially when I do have only 2 security left. I'm going to use the Dual Tamer to evolve my Beelzemon to the Blast Mode here, allowing me to kill off the level 4 hybrid, and I'll be doing 2 security attack, pushing to 2 security here. Doesn't hit to anything, so very fortunate on my end. I'm actually going to go for the Miss Marine boost to set up for the future turns, so that I can play around the potential Ice Wall he might have. Gonna push out the Gabumon here and then gain 1 memory thanks to the Matt Ishida. It's gonna swing that Gabumon and hitting to a Koichi Tamer. So basically I do have my hybrid Tamer already set up, so that's very nice. And he's gonna play the ISO which I mentioned earlier. And I'm just gonna throw the Gabumon at the last security, making me naked so that he can actually end the game next turn with a potential hybrid Digimon. And he's gonna hardcore Gabumon to pass the turn. Now this is where another questionable play arises, I would say. So I do, unsuspend my Digimon and all, and I don't actually push out the Immon. So I do Tunnel Vision into the hybrid Digimon, not thinking that there's a potential ISO in the security, which really happened here. So push it to 1 memory here, so I actually can't evolve and swing at the same turn. And this is where I realized and I just concede immediately. So, that happened. So it was unfortunate, but he's gonna go for the Analog Boy here in the game 2, with him actually going first, he does miss his rookie. So very unfortunate, I would say, because for Gabumon deck you do really want to keep up the pressure, and I do hit my Immon and do follow up with the Dual Tamer. It's gonna start the turn with 2 memory, and of course evolving to the Gabumon in the nursery thanks to the Analog Boy in the previous turn, and it's gonna play the Matt Ishida to pass the turn. I'm gonna start the turn with 3 memory, of course. I'm gonna use the Immon, and along with the Dual Tamer I do mill the top card of my deck, hitting to a Hammer Spark. What a way to start the game off. Of course I'm gonna just pass the turn with the Miss Marine boost, so very unfortunate that Immon doesn't die. But on the bright side, when the Immon doesn't die, the Digimon is just staying there, and of course will keep out the pressure on the security. But will it be enough though? Now he does actually hardcore the Pokemon here. Looking at the top 5, he does only find the Tamers, not the hybrids, so unfortunate for his end. He's actually gonna just play the Matt Ishida without swinging the Gabumon on the Immon, so I would say maybe he's respecting the fact that I could have potential hybrid Digimon coming out to swing over the Gabumon, and he has follow-up plays to make, especially in the form of Lobomon and Ancient Garuru. So I do swing my Emon of course one more time, and I do forget to use my Dual Tamer, which is questionable once again because you do always want to mill as much as possible. Especially the fact that I do have only 3 drop zones, so there's no reason not to mill, and I do mill top 3 and do hit into a blast mode which kills off the Gabumon, and I do hit into the EX02 Emon which allows me to mill 3 more cards. So out of the blue, suddenly my drop zone have 11 drop zones, very nice. I'm gonna draw one discarding the blast mode from hand. Actually gonna play the Calling from the Darkness, which is very nice, especially when I don't have any Digimons on the field. Basically 1 cost to take back 2 Digimons from my drop zone to my hand. I do pick up the Emon and level 5 hybrid, and then hard calling the Emon to pass the turn, as well as memory choke him. So it's basically have to reset the Digimon from the nursery here. It's gonna evolve to the Gabumon of course, and especially in this Gabumon, it's actually quite crazy because this card basically screams potential for the Gabumon Bond of Friendship, allowing him to swing 3 times at the security. And let's not forget that the Davies actually picked up the Bond of Friendship, so basically it's really screaming that kind of play the next turn. I do forget to use the Dual Tamer once again, you know, I would say questionable, and I do hit into the Beelzemon, which allows me to, you know, spawn a Emon from my drop zone. In this case, this specific Emon, I'm gonna use the Emon skill to further mill 3 as well, hitting to 3 blanks. Game is fair, that's all I can say. I'm gonna play the Koichi Tamer here to draw on discard 1 and basically set up the hybrid Digimon Tamers, and of course hard calling another Emon. So this is another questionable play because we do see the Gabumon in the nursery, and of course the Davies picking up the Bond of Friendship, and we do know that the Bond of Friendship is coming down, especially in this turn. So the both Emon hardcore will actually do basically nothing. As I predicted, he does go for the Gabumon Bond of Friendship, discarding the 2 security, putting him to 0, and it's gonna start murdering my securities as well as push out my Emons. And of course by him doing that, it's gonna aim for a game here. It's gonna push out my Emon, or rather push down my Emons and start swinging at the security with the Gabumon Bond. The only way to stop this Gabumon Bond is of course my Blast Mode, but 2 Blast Mode is already in a drop zone I believe. So there isn't really a lot of chance for the Gabumon Bond to die to that kind of security checks, and it's gonna start swinging at security and already do 3 damage already, so that's successful Gabumon Bond. It's gonna go for 2 Hammer Spark here to gain to 4 memory and pushing out one of the Mad Ishida to evolve to a hybrid, and thanks to that Pokemon it is free. So it's gonna swing with the Pokemon of course, putting me to 1 security left. He does just 1 more hybrid Digimon and this will be game. So it's crazy because he started off with 5 security to attack with, and suddenly out of the blue, without any pun intended, he almost steals the game. Now he just hardcore the Gabumon to, you know, draw 1 card, but looks like he didn't draw anything and it's gonna concede this game. So that concludes game 2, and we're moving on to game 3, where the stakes are higher because it's the last game, and I'm gonna go for the Beast Memory Boost to start the things off. I do mill the Blast Mode without bombing anything, but life is fair. He does start the turn with hatching Upamon and then evolving to the Gabumon, so he didn't miss this time, which is very nice for him. He does go for the Mad Ishida here, so this will guarantee a draw 1 and a Memory plus 1 in the next turn, and he does go for the Analog Boy, and then he's gonna pick up the Lobomon adding to hand, so he does maybe have an Ancient Garou in hand to prepare. I'm gonna swing the Emon of course, and we're gonna hit this time. In classic blue fashion, I do hit into Ice Wall. The Emon doesn't die, but my soul definitely died. So I'm gonna go for the Koichi Tamer here to draw and discarding the Koichi Tamer because I don't really need multiple copies of it in my hand. He does push out the Gabumon and gain 1 and draw 1, and gonna evolve to the Lobomon, which he did pick up earlier through the Analog Boy, and of course he does have the Ancient Garurumon in hand because, you know, just very strong player things, and he's gonna swing at security, hitting with 1 check. Does hit into nothing there. He's gonna swing again of course, hitting to a Calling from the Darkness which goes to my hand. He's gonna hardcore a Gabumon to pass the turn. Now the Ancient Garou will of course die thanks to the Lobomon effect, and multiple things will happen. So he's gonna use the Analog Boy to gain 1 memory and of course hatch a Digitama, and the Ancient Garou will allow him to actually spawn a level 4 hybrid Digimon from hand in the form of Kendo Garurumon. He's gonna hatch the egg of course. I'm gonna start the turn with 1 memory only. With the Memory hatched, I'll be evolving to the Emon first. I'm gonna swing at the security hoping that Emon does die, and I hit into a Hammer Spark. So this is 2 in a row, and it definitely hurts my soul. And this stings a bit more because the memory do passed over, and he's gonna start the turn already, and without me actually progressing much on my turn, other than evolving on the Emon. So he's gonna push the security of course, given that this is a very good window for him, and I do drop to 1 security already. And let's go for the Davies, and Davies will definitely secure the game for him the next turn given that he won't be memory choked. And of course with the Gabumon being pushed out, it can spawn into a Gabumon Bond of Friendship, allowing for that 2 security check, and that will be game. So I definitely need to pick up the pace here. I'm gonna push out the Emon and start swinging my Emon of course. finally died, so this Emon is very resilient. I'm gonna mill 3 of course, hitting to EX02 Emon, allowing me to mill 3 more cards. That's mill to 3 blanks. I'm gonna use the Beelzemon skill to draw and discard 1. Discarding the Koichi Tamer like I mentioned just now. I don't really need multiple copies in my hand, I just need multiple copies on the field. And I do hit into another Ice War in this turn. I do miss my Gabumons a lot after this game especially. I'm gonna use the Mist Memory Boost to gain me back 2 memory which I lost through the Ice War to of course evolve to the Hybrid Digimon and follow up to a level 5 Digimon for just 1 cost. Swinging that last security, and I would say the triple Ice War / Hammer Spark in the security really hurt my tempo of the game. I'm gonna go for the Calling from the Darkness to kill off my own level 5, using Koichi to gain more memory of course, and there'll be a bunch of effect happening. Calling from Darkness first, picking up the level 4 Hybrid, as well as a Beelzemon Blastman to hand, and of course the level 5 will allow me to play a Tamer from the drop zone. So which is nice, you know, the combo play. I'm gonna play the Dual Tamer from my drop zone, so preparing myself for the next turn, but that's if I do have a next turn. And of course I'm gonna die in the most handsome fashion, of course warp evolving to the Beelzemon to just, you know, pass the turn. It's gonna push out the Gabumon, draw 2, gain 2, evolving to the Bond of Friendship for just 3 costs. It's gonna start swinging the security and do actually hit into the Blastman, so there's this slight pause here, but of course he does have the Hybrid Digimon in hand. Pushing out the Mad Ishida and of course evolving to Lobomon and go for a game. This is the Bond of Friendship deck, which is actually pretty relevant if you ask me. And this will be the Beelzemon Hybrid list. Thank you guys for watching till the end, and do consider subscribing, dropping a like and a comment if you guys do enjoy the content.